I like to tell you both that I watched the funniest little short, just one random little video of a guy who would go up in a Costco to any man standing by himself at a cart.
Seen that.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy shopping at Costco with your wife?
Yeah.
Every single guy says 0.
Yes.
They all look miserable. Then they brighten right up and laugh and laugh and laugh and then say 0.
But Dave would say 10.
Yes,
Dave
he
loves
would.
it. Dave
I
would be
wouldn't
the
say
exception
10. I wouldn't
to
say
that
10,
rule.
but I
Janet would say 0, but being there with
doesn't-
Dave.
I don't. It doesn't bother me. You just go get what you're looking for and you get out.
Oh, bottles.
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 2
for
bottles
everyone.
today. No tall boys?
No tall boys today.
Hey, is a tall boy 533 milliliters?
Sure.
No, 470 or
433?
something.
473.
473. Okay.
Yeah.
We were figuring that out one day. I don't know why. And I was like, I think it's 533. And everybody's like, how do you know that exactly? And I was like, I don't. I'm guessing.
Yeah, you're.
Are you drinking a Molson Export?
Who, me?
Yes.
No. This is a look at that.
Oh, it's a
Sam
Sam
Oh,
Adams
Sam
in
Adams.
honor of Forman. What are you having?
Oktoberfest. What do you mean in
Moosehead.
honor of Forman? What does Sam Adams have to do?
Isn't that an East Coast beer?
Yes, Boston.
America.
Oh, well, fine.
America.
Same.
Moosehead's at least closer to me.
Yes.
Moosehead,
Yes, there we
fine.
go.
Old St.
Moosehead.
John.
Moosehead would make more sense. Okay. This is due to underwhelming demand, the podcast that, like a jack-o'-lantern on November 1st, is pretty much useless. It's pretty.
Well, we
pretty
don't
much.
promise otherwise, so
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
already
Fine.
starting to turn.
Yes, already.
it's already
Yes.
rotting.
Soft.
Yeah. You don't put Vaseline on it; it'll rot faster.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Okay. That's exactly what I thought.
Okay.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Hey, Forman, I saw a photo of you out one night.
Yeah, I'm a national TV star, baby.
Are you? You were
Yeah.
on TV? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. You can see me for like a third of a second.
oh
in
wow.
Thick the shadow in a full crowd shot in the audience of This Hour Has 22 Minutes.
Oh, very cool.
Wait a minute, is that the one? Is that the one that you posted on social media where you're sitting in the front row?
Yes. Second
Okay.
row, but almost front row.
Okay, second row.
Second row.
Second row. Yeah.
Second row.
Yeah, we got seated, my cousin Amy and I, we got seated in the second row, and there was an empty chair in the first row right in front of me, and then they promptly took it away. So then I was basically hung out the side of the row,
Oh, of course.
right out in front of everyone. And you know what they
Yeah.
do when you go to a TV show taping, especially the comedy TV show taping?
You don't sit there. That's
Well,
what
they
you
have-
don't do.
Well, the audience employees put you where they put you.
Uh-huh.
And then a
For a
stand-up
reason.
comedian comes out to warm up the audience, and guess
Uh-oh.
what stand-up comedians do?
Yes.
Pick on people.
Yes. And you're there.
I sure was.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
I would have told you when I saw
That
that.
sucks.
I saw that picture
I hate that.
on social media, and I went, "Is he stupid? Is he really stupid? Why are you sitting there at a lot? It's a television taping, but yes, there will be a warm-up guy or woman. It'll be a warm-up person.
Yeah.
Normally, they're performers normally, and they're just waiting to prey on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
I hate that. I think I've only been to a comedy show like at Yuck Yucks or something, maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But I know that they pick on the people in the front, and if they can
Yeah.
see you, they will. So I always sit in the back because I would be so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable.
And that's all my cousin Amy and I always said on the way in is like, well, as long as we're not in the front, because I
Yeah.
don't want to get picked on.
But it wasn't
And
on TV, right? It was like
she's-
just before the show you got picked
Yeah,
on.
all this
Okay,
the
so it's
stand-up
not
guy
live
and
on
all
TV.
that audience stuff doesn't go on TV. The TV part of
Right.
it is like it's a very like well-run machine. They
Oh,
know
yeah, I
exactly
bet.
what they're doing.
Sure.
They're
Yes,
well
of
prepared.
course.
Yeah.
And you see some behind-the-scenes stuff of how it works. Like if you're
Okay.
ever watching a TV show,
Right.
any late night show,
Mhm.
22 minutes, whatever, where you think, why did the audience laugh so hard at that joke? It wasn't really that funny. Because
Yes.
We've heard it twice.
Yes.
They screwed up.
Yes.
And then they play to the audience and say, okay, this time I'm going to nail it. And this
Yes.
time it's going to be really, really funny.
This
And
what?
then
Sorry,
you
did you say? This time?
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
then
Your
As the
accent
audience
is showing,
member-
Forman.
I know. You feel the weight. You feel the pressure of you have to perform as an audience.
Yeah.
And it's
Yes.
you're giving them a pity laugh and a pity round of applause and think,
Yep.
damn, that was a funny joke.
Yes.
Wasn't.
Or don't they have somebody saying like, okay, now you clap, now you cheer, or they tell you, right? Don't they tell you what
There's
you
a
have to
guy. There's obviously a director guy, and
Yeah.
but there's not like applause signs and all that. It's actually comes very naturally of where you think, yeah, okay, we're gonna applaud now, and they're gonna go to the next segment.
Well, most
Right.
I would say most of the time when we're doing this little podcast of ours, there's no redeeming value here at all in anything that we say or do.
That
There
should
isn't.
again should have been the title. No redeeming.
No
value.
redeeming value, which
Due
we,
to underwhelming demand of
Yeah.
no redeeming value.
which we
There-
did look
there's our
at. We just
tagline.
it didn't really fit anywhere, so we couldn't do all of it.
It's too long.
But if there's one thing you can take away from this podcast, it's that whenever you're at a live TV taping or a comedy club, and I can tell you this from experience, don't sit anywhere near the front.
No.
And
Unless you want to
and-
be heckled.
Well, if that's your jam, then yes.
There
If
are
you would
very
like to
few
be-
people who like that, right? And they can kind of give it back to the comedian.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand why the comedians do that. Like, it makes the audience feel uncomfortable. It makes the audience
It's
or
a
the people
challenge.
being picked on
It's a challenge.
uncomfortable.
No,
but
who
it makes
cares?
them feel good as the comedian. Like, I just would hate
you're-
that.
wait,
I don't
no,
want to
it's-
pick on somebody if I was the comedian.
You won't blame the comedians. The comedians
Yeah,
are
like,
there.
why is that the shtick?
Because the comedian is there, Rachel, to make the crowd laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
but, like-
everybody
Anyway,
hyped
it
up.
doesn't matter how they make you laugh.
I just think it's
they
a
make you
lowbrow
laugh.
form of humor if you're
No,
like picking
no.
on people.
Oh, there's all kinds of lowbrow forms of humor.
You're listening to it.
Yes, you are. Like,
well,
come on.
I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable.
No.
Well, this
I don't
guy,
like it.
that's the 22 minutes warm up guy. His name is Peter Anthony. You can find him on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But he starts slow because he starts saying, you start with, where's everyone from? Anyone from a small town?
Don't
Anyone from out of
answer.
town?
Don't
and there are
answer.
plenty of people way in the back of that audience that'll
Mm-hmm.
shout out, oh, I'm from, Hamilton, and I'm from Kingston.
Yes.
And If you shout out from an audience, I'm from Hamilton, you're asking for it.
Yes, yes. Don't do it. Don't
Yeah.
do it. Look, I
That's
went.
true.
I
I mean,
went-
if you're there, you know that you're going to be.
I
If
went
you
to a-
answer back, then of
yeah.
course you're going to get picked on.
I went to a taping. I've been to 2 Letterman shows when he was doing his late night talk show
That's
in
awesome.
New York City, and it is awesome. It's awesome to see the show. But what happens is the guy comes out and he kind of gives you an idea, and then they start introducing people. They introduce the band members, and out comes Paul Schaefer, and then, ladies and gentlemen, Dave Letterman, and he runs out. 90% of the time, I think he doesn't have his jacket on. He's still wearing. He comes out. He says hello. He might say something, and then he'll go, "Does anybody have a question?" Don't ask it.
Oh, really?
Do not ask that question.
Why?
Because
Did you have one?
No, I would never have asked a question. I just sit there
Oh.
on my look. I sat.
I sat on my hands.
I did. I was.
You look
I,
straight at the floor.
I will explain this to you, but I was at a comedy club in Los Angeles, and I think it's a famous one. I can't remember the name of the comedy club. It's in Hollywood Boulevard, and I was there with a friend. It's a long story. We went to the comedy club because it was across the street from the hotel. So we go into the comedy club. It's early in the evening. You want to be there late. That's
Yeah.
when people are there. We were there early. There are very few people there, and they seat you, and they put us at the table right at the stage.
Yep.
The first comedian came out, and all he did was pick on us. 2 guys, 2 rubes from Canada,
Yeah.
and all he did was pick on us incessantly. And there was hardly
Yeah.
anybody in the place except
Yeah,
for
but when the comedian does that, I think, do you not have material?
no.
Don't you
that's-
have something
no,
else you
That's
could be
part
doing?
of the fun.
Yes.
That's part of the fun. That's
That's not
their act.
fun.
They're working
Wasn't
on
fun
their
for
act.
you.
No,
Well,
That's not an act. That's just picking
Yes,
on
it
people.
is. No, it was funny. I mean, there were parts of it that I laughed at, but it was after a while. It was like, I think we're done because I don't know if I could put up with 3 or more comedians coming out and doing
Right.
this.
You're at the very front.
Yeah, long story
For
short,
sure.
we didn't stay very long. And so the Letterman thing is like, does anybody have a question for me? For Dave. And we were told, Dave may ask you if you have a question. And people actually put up their hand. And what happens is that could end up being something that will be part of the show, except we're the only ones that know why it's funny.
Yeah.
And he'll point to you, or, sometimes when you put on your favorite late night show and they point out somebody from somewhere because they've been dumb enough to put up their hand
Right.
and say, yeah, I'm from there. Like, don't.
Well,
Don't.
on YouTube now, Colbert, who took over from Letterman, he does all that audience questions. They film it all, and they'll round it up and make a montage every once in a while and
Yes!
put it on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I have seen that.
Too. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to be that person, I can remember when they would do Stump the Band or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And you get a prize for doing that, then maybe it's worth the embarrassment.
I get
Yeah,
that it's
but
like
just-
extra. It's like an extra bit, It's like an extra shtick for them. But
Yeah.
gotta
And you
have
feel
something
included.
else.
It
can't
makes you
just-
feel included.
I
Like
guess,
This
yeah.
guy at my show,
I
he,
think
uh,
it makes everybody else feel included. Like, oh, you're gonna
Yeah.
pick up, you're gonna interact with the
Oh, yeah.
audience. As long as
Listen.
you're not picking on me, I feel like I, as the audience, am included.
Yeah,
Right.
and this guy at my show, he was given gold to start off with because he starts picking on this lady from Dartmouth. And that's affectionately known around
Dartmouth.
here as the dark side because it's the one half of the Halifax Harbor is pitch black, and that's Dartmouth, and the other side is the beautiful Halifax skyline.
Side.
It's like
your
Windsor
eyes,
and Detroit.
Forman, your accent is killing
I know.
me today.
That's the best.
I know.
Killing
Just
me.
picture Windsor and Detroit, and Dartmouth is Windsor.
Yes.
Okay,
And
all right.
that's-
Well, that
yeah,
makes sense.
and then
yeah.
Pretty much.
and then he asks, "Oh, what do you do over there?" And she says, "Nothing."
Oh, perfect.
And we all laugh. And that says, we think,
Perfect.
"Yep, sounds about right."
Yes.
Nothing happens over there.
Perfect.
And then later in the show, he's on to this bit about, exercising and working out and stuff like that. And then he looks over at me and like, "What about you, sir? Do you go to the gym? Are you one of those gym guys?"
Oh God, I hope you said yes. I pump iron every day.
My first line, and I thought it was pretty good given the circumstance. I
Mm-hmm.
immediately said, "Obviously."
Yes. of
Everybody
course.
bad.
laughed.
Not
Everybody
bad.
laughed.
Not bad.
Okay, good. Well, good.
Not bad.
And then he has a few more prepared jokes to go down that line, and then he comes back to me and he says, "What do you do for exercise?" And I said, "Oh, I walk."
Oh, wow.
And
You
immediately
couldn't
he-
think, like, why
I don't know.
Why didn't you say I do 100 push-ups every afternoon?
I don't-
Yes.
Like, come on.
Every hour I do
Yes.
100 push-ups.
That's right.
As soon as the
One-handed.
audience member- Yeah. No, you get an audience member that says you walk, and he immediately says, "Good talk."
You're the best. I would have loved
Okay,
to
that's
have been
actually
here.
funny.
Yes,
That's
and
of
he's
actually
course
still-
it's funny.
Yeah.
He's still continuing because he's filling time between segments.
Yeah.
He's set
Yeah.
up for another sketch or something. So he still comes back to me anyway. He's like, "Oh, what's your name?" "Andrew." "Where are you from?" "Timberley." "Okay, yeah." "What do you do for a living?"
Oh, no. Oh, don't say it.
Oh,
Don't.
no.
Don't
What am I
ever
supposed
tell.
to do at that point? I have to.
You
and then
lie.
I have to say,
You lie like a rug. You do not tell
'cause there's
him.
gonna be. What if there's follow-up questions about the lie? Then I'm really down that road.
I
So I
know.
say,
Oh, that's
I do a
awkward.
morning show.
Oh, no.
Uh-huh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden
no.
it's like gold in his eyes. Like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is where I can work
Yeah.
with
Yes,
this.
I got one.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, where do you? What station? 103.5. Or while I'm around here, 103.5.
5.
Boy.
Yeah.
And then, thank goodness, because you don't know how the audience is going to react. And there was a spontaneous, without being prompted, round of applause and people saying, "Oh, hey!" Like everyone had heard of it.
Oh, okay,
Very
good.
odd. Yeah.
Like, thank God people listen. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
And then
Did
I
he
gave
make
him
fun of
back,
it?
like, and then he was going to move on, and I gave him back, like, "You want to come on the show?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, I'd love to." What time did you start at? 6 a.m. "No, thanks."
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that was then
Setting
he was
you up.
able to move on, and I feel like I survived it pretty well.
Good for you. It sounds
Yeah.
like you handled it very well. I would be horrified and I would hate it. I would feel so awkward.
Well,
and
this is
I just want to
yes,
leave.
But you see how this is very, for the first time, I think, in all of the shows that we have done, there's something to take away from, a lesson to be learned here.
Yeah.
You know, try not to sit in the front row.
Yep.
Try not to ask any questions. Try to look the other way whenever they spot you.
Yep.
All of those things.
Go and be inconspicuous.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Little
Yes.
did I know at that time, too, by the way, that complete chaos ensued at home.
Oh,
Shit
while you were
hit-
out?
Shit hit the fan.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I just
Why?
wanted to have like a 2-hour adult evening out.
Because Ashley didn't go with you. You were with your cousin, right?
Exactly. And there's several reasons for that.
Oh, boy.
And maybe
Okay.
we'll get into that later.
Well, let's do. Yeah, hang on. We'll give. All right. Then. Yeah. Okay. Coming right up. By the way, see the good idea, bad idea, the dimple maker, Forman, this morning.
No.
Yeah, there's a thing
don't
you
know
can
any of that.
you hook it into your you hook it into your cheeks and it can make a dimple for you. Yeah.
You hook it into them? How do you hook it into them?
I don't know. I think it must sit in your mouth somehow or something. Like
Dumb.
it pushes from both sides into the fat in your cheeks and creates dimples. They don't last. But it will give you a good idea what you'd look like with dimples in case you want to go through the procedure.
Oh.
Good idea, bad idea. I just think that anybody who's that vain, go ahead and punch the fat in your. Yeah, go for it. If you really want to do that, like, you know,
No, I don't want to. I wouldn't like that.
if you really need dimples that bad, I hope they don't make one to give you dimples in your ass because that would be really.
I already have those.
I don't want to know about that. That's way too much information. This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Forman. This podcast is just like moving the clocks back 1 hour the first weekend in November. Really, 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 really dumb. Just really, really.
Entirely unnecessary.
And unnecessary. That is
Yeah,
correct.
the older
Very
I get, the more I
inconvenient.
really hate
Heart,
it.
heart attack rate spike. Car accident
Really?
spike.
Right.
Yes, well,
That's
that's
right.
true, yeah. But this is the time where you get an extra hour.
Wait a minute. Are we still
But if
talking
you
about-
have kids, you don't. So
Okay.
this is
Are
the
you-
one that's right, good for people without kids and bad for people with kids.
Okay.
Rachel's
are we
literally
still
talking about the time change.
Are we
I'm
talking-
talking about the podcast.
We're just talking about the podcast here,
Oh, I'm
Rach.
talking about the time change.
Okay, of course you are. All right, Foreman, you need to elaborate. So you went out
No, we had
to
a
be-
breather.
to be ridiculed at a comedy show.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then
But it sounds like you handled it well, so I'm impressed. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. And it's a good show. I mean, it's 22 minutes has been on for like 30 years. I don't think I've really sat and watched an episode in at least a couple. But it's fun. I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised at how funny it still is.
Good.
How long does it take to
Good.
do 22 minutes, by the way?
About an hour and a bit.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
but they're trying. I'm sure most of those jokes ended up getting cut, and they show you all kinds of skits and things that they've already pre-filmed. I feel like they're either trying them out or they're banking them for future episodes.
Yeah,
so they give
could
you lots of stuff to watch.
Oh,
Oh,
I
okay,
see.
cool.
Okay.
All right, so that's a great evening out, except that it wasn't a great evening out.
No, and one of the reasons why Ashley didn't come is because Harley, who's 10,
Yeah.
has to go swimming 4 nights a week.
Oh yes, yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
her
hear what my
competitive-
face looks like right now.
Mm-hmm.
She
I
does
can hear it.
synchronized swimming.
Yeah, she does
Right,
synchro
synchronized.
swimming.
Okay.
And it's nearby. I mean, they filmed
Which is
22 minutes
hardcore, by the way.
downtown. It is hardcore.
You have to have a lot of strength
Oh,
for
yeah.
that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so one of the pools that she goes to is also downtown. So
Okay.
Ashley was able to get Emily's only 6, and so get her in her jammies and get her teeth brushed, whatever, and take Harley to swimming at like 6 o'clock, and then go 20 minutes back home. And then I was going to go pick her up after the TV show,
Right.
and then come home later.
Right.
Okay.
Really close, whatever. That all would have worked perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Easy
I
peasy.
found out later, complete chaos happened because
Oh no.
they took Harley to swimming and then came 20 minutes back home. And at that point, Emily is slowly inheriting the same, what do you call it? Susceptibility to motion sickness that Ashley has.
Oh no.
Oh, that's
Oh boy.
So
This-
already that trip to the pool and back was already making Emily sick. The window was down. They were driving slow.
that won't end well.
Yeah.
No.
It
Do
wasn't
you keep
until they got
plastic
back.
bags in the car?
We do. We quite literally have the airline lined, really nice, fancy puke bags.
Look at
in
you.
the car.
Oh wow. Okay.
Every time we take a flight from Halifax to London, it's like, can we have a few
Oh.
extra bags?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my
We
gosh.
keep them in the car.
Oh,
And it wasn't until they got
no.
back home that Harley calls twice on a random phone number, and she's using one of the security people at the front desk of the pool to say, Mommy, you need to come get me because practice changed and it's at a different pool. And she sat there
No.
for 20 minutes waiting for the team to show up, and it didn't.
Okay.
Oh,
so
no.
let me see if I can help paraphrase this a little bit, because I can tell if
You know where
if,
this is going.
if I'm your wife.
I know that you're going to home to be in shit. That's what I know.
If I'm your
Yeah.
wife, I'm getting angrier and angrier and angrier.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily at you, because none of this is really your fault.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you aren't here to help me get through this makes it all your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am angry at you for leaving and having a good time while I'm dealing with this at home. That's how
Yes.
I'm going to think.
No one would have needed to load up the youngest in the car if the other one was home.
Who's already puking? Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
all right. So somehow,
Yes.
some way, this incident, which is very, of course, it's screwed up, and I get it. You know, things happen. You know, these things happen, but somehow, some way, and Rachel's already indicated, yeah, it is your fault.
It's entirely your fault.
It isn't your fault.
Yes, it is.
It's
You
not.
left the house.
You cannot
And-
defend that. You can't.
You left the house to have a good time, and then she is there dealing with this. Like that's
But that's not his fault.
that's unforgivable.
you can,
That's not his fault.
Dave, you can argue all you want, but Rachel's
It's
still
just
going to end up
not.
being right.
No, you're not right. You're not
Because I
right.
know that's exactly what happened
that's-
when you
but-
went home.
But that's
I know
my,
that.
That's my whole point. Is
Yeah.
somehow, some way, we have to change this blame, because it's not our fault. It's not.
I just wanted to be an adult for one night.
Yeah.
That's all.
No,
and
you
I
can't do
couldn't.
that because you have
Why?
little kids.
Why?
So, what Harley has
Can
to
you
live
do
through
that?
the trauma of being abandoned at a pool,
Yeah.
and then waiting for Ashley and Emily to come back. Then they go.
Oh, she'll be fine. You know how many
Pick her up.
times my mom was
I
so
know.
late picking me? Oh my gosh.
oh,
my
that's
mom
my whole childhood.
gave no shits about when she showed up. Not one.
No, never.
No.
Yeah. So they went to the.
I like
went
your
back.
mom even more
Yeah.
now, Rachel. I don't
she's-
know why.
Yeah. She did not care.
Well, so Harley's waiting 40 minutes because we're 20 minutes away from the pool.
Yes.
So 40 minutes have
God.
elapsed now until Ashley and Emily come back to that pool, take her to the next pool, and then now she's fine, whatever. And it actually worked out well for me, which makes my, blame even worse because the
You didn't
pool
have to pick
that she
anybody
ended
up.
up in
Oh, it made
was
your
quite
life easier.
literally
Uh-huh.
right next to where I parked to go to the TV show.
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
Of course it was.
It was
yeah.
perfect for me.
Perfect.
And Ashley and Emily almost made it home. They were like 30 seconds to a minute from home.
Oh gosh.
Emily pukes all over herself, all over the car seat,
no.
all over the seat of the car, all over the door,
Somehow that's your fault.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Entirely my fault. She can't get her the airplane bag fast enough. Why did I have to leave?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Mm.
I can't. This is why I feel guilty leaving my house at all. Like I understand why you wanted to go out and have a night. I want to do that all the time. I never leave my house, well, hardly ever alone first, unless it's during the day when the kids are at school.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
If we get groceries, we all go get groceries. If we have to go to the mall, all four of us are going to the mall. If we need to go run errands, we are all going together because nobody can stand being apart from each other. And it drives me crazy sometimes. Like if I don't leave the house in the evening after the kids get home unless I absolutely have to. Because if I leave, even when I'm going to something I have to do, the kids are like, "You're leaving? Where are you going? Why are you leaving?" And I'm like, so I feel guilty ever leaving. I was talking about this with a girlfriend of mine who leaves her house whenever she feels like. Like, what a life.
Must be nice.
Holy
Well,
shit.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And she's like, you got a real problem. You got to leave the house, Rach. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know, but I can't. The kids are always whining, and I just feel like I can't leave them. And I'll leave, and something bad will happen, and Jeremy will be pissed at me, or I'm pissed at him because he's got a 5-hour hobby that he does every fucking weekend. I need one of those.
Well,
okay.
now you
And
know.
then I
I
would
learned
feel
the hard
guilty
way for
going
you.
to it.
Ouch.
I would feel
This is
guilty
what
leaving.
happens.
Do you
Yeah,
remember?
exactly.
Do you remember when we had that little radio show?
No.
Yeah. Do you remember? I know you hated getting up early and all of that stuff. Do you remember how much you enjoyed not being home and not
In the mornings?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jeremy still does the mornings
remember
because he's
how-
got a system,
Yeah.
and I interfere.
Yeah.
So he's
exactly.
got it down pat.
Yeah.
He's like, get out of my
But
way.
you-
This is
you
how
had
we
it-
do it.
You had
Even
it
though I'm
made.
home now.
You had it made. Then the
Well, I
kids-
had it made, but I did all the evening stuff. Of
Well, then the
course.
kids would be in school or whatever, and you could go. Oh, I don't know, shop by yourself.
Yes. And that's
Yeah.
what I did, right? So now I'm trying to do the same thing, except I work during the day. So if I go do that during the daytime, I get less work done, right?
Thank
like
you
I
for
can't. So,
thank you for pointing out that what we used to do wasn't work. But
well,
anyway,
it was working, but it was working not while other people
yeah,
work,
It wasn't really work.
not in the daytime.
It wasn't really work. You're right. This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast. We're Dave, Rachel, and Forman, and this high-quality podcast is brought to you by, and we appreciate their support, Murphy Bus Line, serving southwestern Ontario since 1946.
Wow.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long
I think
time.
most of us have taken a Murphy bus if you live in the area.
I've been on one, yes.
I've been on many. Yes, that's what took me to school every day, my whole school career.
Mm-hmm.
But they are looking for drivers. If you would like to get back on a bus and maybe drive one, they will assist you in getting your license. They will train you on how to drive a bus, so you don't need any experience. I'm assuming you need a valid license, but they'll get your bus license for you. And it's a part-time job. You get all the school holidays off, so weekends and summers, March break, Christmas, you get all the school holidays off. And they really need drivers. They say it's a great job for young mothers, maybe retirees. If you're looking for something part-time, consider driving bus.
And it's anywhere in London, in the city, or Middlesex, Oxford, Huron, and Perth County.
Yeah, anywhere Murphy Bus Line serves. So you can fill out an application online at murphybus.ca or give them a call at 1-877-289-6507. Tell them Rob Murphy sent you.
Yes, be sure to tell them Rob
That's
Murphy
right.
sent you. Yes.
Yeah. Murphybus.ca, that's where you're going to fill it out online and become a bus driver.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, exactly. And
Make a little extra cash.
I love that you get the weekends and school holidays off.
Oh, yeah.
Summer.
PD
Give yourself
days.
a little extra authority. If you feel like you're always overlooked and no one's ever listening to you, well, a bunch of kids have to listen to you. You're the driver.
Yeah, drive
Yes.
a bus full of kids. Tell them what to do or what
Yeah.
not to do. Sit down. Stop standing in the aisle.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's not how you do it. You know better.
They should do
No,
it like that.
but if you're already thinking, you know what, that would be good, you need to do this because our girls in the morning, their bus driver, I have no idea why he's doing it. I feel like he hates it. He's
Really?
always yelling. He's always on the verge of a heart attack, just losing it when nothing is happening.
Wow.
We have a great bus driver, and she is one of the moms of the kids that are on the bus. And so she was like, well, I'm driving my kids to school anyway, so I'll drive a bus. And she's awesome because she knows the families. She's a young mom.
Most people, it's
it's
most
great.
bus drivers are like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just Halifax. Maybe it's Dartmouth. I don't know.
Dartmouth.
Dartmouth.
It is.
All right. Murphybus.ca. Tell them Rob Murphy sent you if you're interested. This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Forman. And if you're looking for astonishingly ordinary content, you are home. You are there.
Found it. Finally.
Here we
Ordinary means relatable.
are. Yeah, we're here for
We
you.
hope.
That's right.
Speaking of relatable, I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but are you on the cloud and do you know how to access it?
Okay. I don't really even know what the cloud is.
Exactly.
I get messages.
Exactly.
I get messages from time to time saying your cloud's almost full. Would you like to spend a little money and buy more cloud?
Exactly.
I don't know what cloud is.
I've never purchased the cloud before, but I had friends tell me, I've purchased the cloud, so they can go on their phones, like I have here, and scroll back and pick for pictures for years. And I'm like, wow, how do you have that much storage on your phone? You must have bought the big one. No, I pay for the cloud. I'm like, okay. So my phone is getting full, and I had to take some videos recently, which I knew was going to take up more space. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm finally going to pay for the cloud so that I can fit more stuff on my phone, right? Finally going to do that. So there I go. And it's like, for 50 gigs, like $1.29 a month or something like that. I'm like, that's nothing. I can do that. I pay $20 a month for Netflix. So I sign up for the cloud.
That's great. That's perfect reasoning.
Analogy.
That's cheap compared to Netflix.
Cheap compared to Netflix. And my stuff's stored there.
Girl math.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
that's what that is.
So I pay for the cloud. And then immediately my cloud is full. It's completely full. And I'm getting immediate messages like, you've run out of space in your cloud. Do you want to buy more? Like, I just bought. I don't know. I don't know how this works. My pictures are all still on my phone.
Yeah.
I have a little more space on my phone, but not a ton of it. But I don't know how to access the cloud. I don't know how to not pay for it. And I don't know what's on there. I don't know what my phone has sent to the cloud. How do you find this? I don't know what's there. I didn't know 50 gigs wasn't enough.
Oh, this is my favorite topic
Who knows?
ever.
Why do we have the cloud if nobody knows how to access the cloud?
Well, it's not.
How do I get
knows.
my things off the cloud?
It's just you.
Because the only people who are going to be able to access it are hackers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yes,
I hope
I don't know how. I don't have any nudes on
there.
there.
Yeah, have you taken any naked?
No nudes.
That's
no.
how they did all those leaks.
It's like pictures of my
years ago.
kids and my dog. Yeah, no, that's all I have. But I don't know how to get this stuff off. How do I stop using the cloud?
Stop paying for it?
How do you do that? Because now it's asking me to pay more.
Okay. Look.
Like, fuck if I know.
This is
Holy shit.
This is very entertaining to me because I have been teased incessantly by both of you about my lack of technological knowledge.
Yes,
Yeah.
teased with merit.
Yes, sometimes.
Well, okay,
not always.
yes, that's
not
true.
always. I can work my way around some things.
Almost all of the time.
But I have to ask questions. I just ask questions and just go, well, how do I do
That's
this?
fine. Once
That's
Dave's taught how to do something, he
But
knows.
I don't know what the cloud is. Therefore, when I get a message from the cloud team, whoever they are, saying you need the cloud or you need more cloud, I'm like,
Right.
no, I don't. No, I do not.
I shouldn't have signed up in the first place.
Here's a finger that tells you what I think of the cloud.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm thinking of the cloud right now too, because
Yes.
I don't know I don't know what's on there. Like, what does it send? Like, you just pay for the cloud and then magically it's like what goes there? I don't know.
What were you trying to accomplish again?
I was trying to put my photos on the cloud so they weren't on my phone
Yeah.
so that I could take more photos.
Yeah.
So I just assumed, I don't know what I thought was going to happen. Other people said they pay for the cloud and it works. And I'm like, okay, well, it must work for me.
No, it doesn't.
And it didn't.
Not always.
So I didn't want to have to put my photos on my computer, which I'm going to have to do now to make more room because the cloud's full.
This is the single
How do
dumbest
I
thing
empty the
think.
cloud?
I just find this.
Why do they make it so difficult?
This is very entertaining to me, and I don't know why. I have the cloud. I paid the cloud.
Yeah.
All I wanted was photos, and now the
Right.
cloud's telling me I don't have enough cloud.
I don't
How can
have
that
enough.
be? Well,
So
why do I have
now-
to pay for more cloud?
Now, you know when you always have that alert on your phone and it's like iCloud storage, like sign up for it, or now mine says iCloud storage full. So I click on it and it's like the next tier is 200 gigs for $4 a month.
Yeah.
Like, but if I do that,
now
how
we're
many
get-
times are they going to get me?
Now
Because-
we're getting into Netflix territory.
Yeah, exactly. $4 a month. No, 2 terabytes is $13 a month.
Oh my!
Yeah,
And
you're gonna have to do something.
I
like
don't
that.
know what
Here's
this
what
means.
So you had no cloud before.
No.
Okay. So
I had
And,
everything
and
stored
apparently, and no
locally.
clue either.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
No,
here's the
I'm-
problem.
and that's why I didn't do it. But then I
I'll
figured,
be your-
well, if other people can do it, I can surely figure this out.
can I
No.
be your IT guy?
Yeah.
Sure.
Step one, did you turn it off? Turn it back on again.
Yes.
Charge her $1.50 a
He
month.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know how you had no cloud before,
Yeah.
and now you bought 50 gigs worth of cloud,
Yeah.
and then it backed up and it's immediately full.
Yeah.
So you have 50 gigs of photos that now are on your phone and also taking up all the cloud storage.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you could theoretically delete them all off your phone, and you'll still have that 50 gigs of photos
Oh, there you
on the
go.
cloud. But
they
all
save
the
on
new
the
ones,
cloud?
yes, they'll still be there. But any new ones you take won't go to the cloud because the cloud's full.
Cloud's full.
So you're gonna
Right.
need to upgrade your cloud storage.
Yeah.
So my cloud is full, and my iPhone is almost full.
Yeah.
I've used 125 and a half of 128 gigs on my
Exactly.
iPhone.
Yeah. You need to get.
So the
you need to
cloud
get the
didn't
200
help me
gigs.
at all.
No.
No. The cloud
Because-
didn't
I'm
have-
not
You
getting
still
the
have no
200
room to
gigs
add
because
more
I
to
still
the
don't know
cloud.
how to get it off there.
But it will be. That's see.
It'll be there, but then how do I use it later if I want to make photo albums or something? I don't know.
We also purchase cloud storage, but it's all Google. It's all Google Drive, Google Photos, and it's like
Right.
$1 something a month for 100 gigs.
Okay.
But my photos and Ashley's photos, they all go to Google Photos Cloud, and then we can delete them off our phone, and they're still there. So if you still open your Photos app, they're all still there.
and you know how to
They're
get
just
them
not
off
on the
Google?
file's just not on your phone. It's on the cloud.
Okay, so you know how to get them off the Google Cloud.
What are you guys taking so
Yeah, well,
many
you could
pictures
you
for?
just
I
download it.
If you're taking that many
Oh.
pictures, you guys have problems.
It's
I
thousands.
am the
How
photo
many
taker
photos?
in my family. Who else is going to take them? Not Jeremy. Can tell
How
you
many
that.
Photos are in
Okay.
your
Who's going
Google
to
right now?
document our life? Me.
Yeah. And what do you do with them right now?
Well, right now I'm putting them on the fucking cloud.
This is due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Forman. Shout out to Murphy Bus Lines, serving southwestern Ontario since 1946. Thanks for your support, Murphy Bus Lines, and for sponsoring this fine podcast, murphybus.ca. They're looking for drivers. So,
Yes.
do
So
it.
if you want to be a driver, murphybus.ca,
Do
tell
it.
them Rob Murphy sent ya.
Yeah.
Our friend Rob.
And if you want to sponsor this fine podcast, just get a hold of us.
Yeah, you can email us at daverachelforman@gmail.com or message us on Facebook or Instagram. We had Melissa Photography a while ago. She's rebranded now to be Melissa V. So if you're looking for her, because she said she just did a photo shoot. She emailed us. I just did a photo shoot the other day with someone who heard of me from the podcast.
Yay!
Yeah. So there you go. Thanks for supporting our sponsors who support us. So we hope that you do. And yeah, if you want to be a sponsor, it works. People hear about your business through us. So daverachelforman@gmail.com. Go ahead.
Even if people are just finding out that we're doing this. I mean, we have a message now from Steven who says,
Yeah.
hey, just this week, hey, I missed you guys on the radio. One of my friends told me about your podcast. I've been listening in my spare time. I'm on episode 20. I can't wait to catch up.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
well, you've got a long way to go. 'cause
Thank
there's
you.
At least 30 more. So
Yes, this
yeah.
is 51 now, isn't it?
Yes.
This is 52 or
Maybe.
51?
52?
This is episode 52.
52.
We don't count
Jeez.
clearly before we post
No.
it. But we've
But Deb
had
did say
over
congrats
50.
on 50 episodes. Yeah, she said, we look forward to listening to you guys every week, Friday nights with a drink and homemade pizzas.
Oh, wow.
P.S.
thank you.
I love it when Rachel says, I hate you guys right now.
Yeah.
Yes,
She says that
which
a lot.
is almost every week.
Yeah, she says that a lot.
Christina messaged us as well, and she's kind of catching up. And I think she works for Canada Post. Is that right? I'm not sure. Anyway, she's catching up on episodes. And here's a few messages from her. She says, "Ha, Forman's Dartmouth accent is getting thicker,"
Yes,
which I
it-
definitely noticed
Yes.
today.
One
It is.
episode at a time.
Yeah,
She
that's toy.
She says, "Dud gibbets." Remember when we talked about getting our own gibbets for Crocs? Yeah,
Mhm.
she
Yeah,
would buy
still
that.
a work in progress. That definitely didn't peter out into nothing. Still a work in progress.
Is it?
for sure.
Okay, well, we'll
Yeah.
see. And then she says, half an hour is not enough of you three. 2.5 days to binge at work, driving for Canada Post.
Oh,
So
good.
anyway,
that's
half an hour
awesome.
is not enough. Sometimes we're longer than that, but
Oh, no, half an hour.
you can only do what you can do.
Half an hour is enough. Trust
Yeah.
me. It is. It's enough. It's enough.
That was Christina.
Yep.
This is Christine wrote us a nice long message.
Oh.
I think you had responded to her. I think it's in Messenger, but it says, "Hi,
Okay.
Rachel. I'm listening to your show for October 10th. Laughing at your chaperoning boys story.
Oh boy, yes. Yeah.
This behavior is something I'm totally used to, as I am a mom of 2 grown boys, 22 and 24. I
Yeah.
feel for you, but I do think everyone should experience chaperoning boys at least once in their life."
Well, I've
That's
had my experience, I can tell you that.
That's a fact.
That being said, I had my mom chaperone my oldest son, Kent, his class trip to the fair at the Forks in Chatham, Ontario, years ago. It was the medieval outdoor fair. So
Okay.
my mom chaperones and drops said son, who's maybe 6 or 7, back home at the end of the day. My mom looks tired, and I ask how the trip went. With a deep breath and her teeth gritted, she said, "Your son played Jack Be Nimble."
What's that?
Me being confused as to what she meant.
Yeah.
What is Jack Be Nimble? Again with teeth gritted, she said, "He jumped over a freaking fire pit that a blacksmith was working at."
That's
Grandma
Jack B.
Joe
Nimble.
did not volunteer to chaperone again.
Yeah.
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 I get it.
It was a
Yeah.
lot of correcting. None of them were being bad. They were just wild. A little wild.
Just a little much.
Wild.
Just like
Wild.
it was a lot of correcting. Like, nope, this way. Nope, don't go over there. Nope, hands off. Don't touch each other.
Did you have a group
no
of them
pushing.
Did you have 2 or more where you went, I hate you guys.
No,
Just, I
no,
hate
they
you.
weren't bad. They were just
Not yet.
more than I'm
they're-
used to.
They're not doing it right then.